Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. So, we just got back from our Disney Not So Scary Halloween and a trip to Disney in August, which was pretty cool. But I did come up with about some money saving ideas and some tips and tricks that we use in our. I think my wife and I have been to Disney about 15 times now in total. We have some more trips planned back, but these are some ideas. I do have a computer screen I might have to refer to every once in a while, but I do have some ideas on how to save some money because Disney and a budget don't typically go together very well, but there are some ways to really cost cut some of the Disney expenses. So the one thing I would recommend is getting a travel agent. We use Callie at Epic Adventures for our plane flights and whatnot, but they really do help cut and find some of the cheaper plane flights, help you with navigate some luggage costs, things like that, maybe some park tickets, stuff like that, times a year when it's going to be much more advantageous to go. So get a travel agent, and it'll help with tip number 2, which is what I talked about a little bit about timing. Time of year, it makes a huge difference with Disney. So they have some times of years where there's special events going on, and there is a lot of extra cost for tickets and whatnot. Disney does some crazy things with their tickets as far as every day has a different cost. So you can range anywhere from about $104 to upwards of about $165 depending on what day of the week you're going and what time of year it is. So if you're looking, summer months are always a good cost savings if you can deal with the heat, because it is very hot there. If you like a lot of nighttime activities, then maybe summer is good for you. We went in July this year, short lines, a lot of cost savings. Hotel rooms were quite a bit less, so that is a good time. The other time of the year that is pretty good is right after Christmas in January, Christmas and New Year's. So mid-January all the way up to about the third week of March are a pretty good time. That's one of their slower times, so they offer some discounted tickets. Wait times might be a little bit less in the park and whatnot, so that's a great time of year to go. Once you get into the last week of March, though, in the first week of April, it's spring break. Cost will go up several $100s during that time. So if you can avoid spring break, my wife's a school teacher, so unfortunately, we end up going in a lot of the premium times. So it's kind of a bummer. So we did some other things to help save some money. Bought a DVC membership, things like that, which help with our hotel room. So the other thing is about mid-September is when you start getting into the holiday season. Believe it or not, Disney actually starts their Halloween area right around mid-September, and they go right from Halloween right into Thanksgiving and Christmas. So mid-September all the way till the New Year's are very expensive to go, but the parks are decorated very beautifully. So I mean, if that's something you're looking for, it's a great time to go, but you're not going to hit the cost savings time of the year. So that is a much more expensive time to go. So number 3 that I do get a lot of questions about actually is the food. Food is probably one of the most expensive things you're actually going to do at Disney outside of the initial cost. So, which we'll talk about really later, how Disney has a good job of negating the cost and making you feel like you're not spending as much money while you're there. So food. I highly recommend getting groceries. We always have a grocery order delivered to our hotel room with food, Gatorade, water, mostly snacks, a few microwave goods, things like that. If we're staying in one of our DVC rooms that have a kitchen, then you can actually get some full-on meals and you can cook meals. But most of the DVC rooms have a microwave and a refrigerator, well, all of them, so you can at least microwave. But in the value resorts, which is where we were at this time on our stay, in the food court, they have microwaves and things like that, so you can actually bring your food up there and microwave it and eat it in the food court. Perfectly acceptable. Disney does not mind at all. So that's a real good cost savings. So um, the other thing is the cups. So the Disney cups that you can purchase while you're there. So those are $21. They have unlimited drink refills. Now I'll remind you that you cannot fill them in the park. So that is kind of a bummer, but you can only fill them at your resort. So if you're going to be there 5 days or more, it's probably a pretty good value because you're going to drink much more than a couple dollars worth of sodas out of there. You're probably going to drink probably $50 worth of pop if you were to purchase them one at a time. So definitely a good cost way to save money. Um, on the grocery note, one thing I do want to know, if you buy groceries, they deliver them to the front of the hotel. Bell Services will actually take your groceries and store them for you, refrigerating any goods that need to be refrigerated. So you can pick them up at a much more convenient time. So that is one thing. Really take advantage of the groceries. I tell you guys, water, things like that, awesome. One of the other things is tip number 3 is water in the parks. Bring your water bottles. Bring some water from what you purchased from your grocery order. Bring it in a backpack. Perfectly acceptable. Once you drink what water you have, there's plenty of places to refill bottle fills and whatnot. One little hidden fact that most people don't know about, and we did not learn until July, is there's several places in the park that will give you free cold water with ice at no charge. You just walk up and ask for it at any time, and you can refill your water bottles with cold water, which is filtered, tastes good, and it's free. So that is a really good value. There's only a few places in every park that do this. So if you can't find one, ask a cast member. Most of the time they'll be able to steer you in the right direction. The one things I found that were pretty common is any place that sells coffee also will give you water. So that was a big one actually. We found out in July, and that's a huge cost savings at $2.99 to $4.50 a bottle for something to drink. That can add up pretty quick. So that is a great way to save money. Bringing your own water, refilling it in the park. Tip number 4, travel light and do laundry when you're at the parks. I know that's a terrible thing. It's a swear word to most of us doing laundry, but just so you know, the laundry rooms are always adjacent to the pool areas in the value resorts and most of the other resorts. The DVC resorts, it is free. If you go 1 bedroom or larger, you actually have a washer and dryer, which is pretty cool. But if you're staying in a value resort, they always have a big laundry facility right next to the pool. It's coin operated, doesn't cost that much. You're going to spend probably somewhere around $10 doing laundry versus $70 to $80 a bag sometimes for an extra bag. So you can actually pack very light, fit everything into a carry-on, spend $30 with extra luggage fees instead of $70, saving you for us, for a family of 4, it saves us over $100. So that's really a big cost savings. Plus, you always got to think about souvenirs, right? You're always going to buy a shirt, which you can wear at Disney, so that gives you one more item. I know a lot of people like to wash their shirts after they purchase them, so that fits into the laundry thing. So have a pool day, do some laundry, the kids can enjoy the pool. Huge cost savings. They give you quarters right at the front desk, so you're all set. They do have token exchange right in the laundry rooms. So real cost saving thing to do. Tip number 5, find your less expensive places to eat in the parks. So there's the quick services, which are pretty inexpensive, really. I mean, you're going to spend $50, $60 on a meal versus a sit-down restaurant inside Disney, which is $150 to $200 usually. So, be prepared to spend that money if you're going to sit down. If you want to save some money, there's actually the quick services are not too bad of an option. But if you do want something different, there is a few places outside of the parks, like in Disney Springs. Outside of Animal Kingdom, there's the Rainforest Cafe, which is pretty reasonable, pretty what you'd find in the outside of Disney. You're going to pay $70 for 4 people. You're going to spend $70 at the Rainforest Cafe. So that's pretty decent. One other place that we found was really reasonable is in Disney Springs, and it's Earl Sandwich. So it's right at the entrance there. So pretty inexpensive. Well, I guess it's right at the entrance if you're coming from Saratoga Springs, but it's way down by the pin traders if you're coming for the buses. So that was a really reasonable. We ate there for a family of 4 for less than $50. So that is definitely probably the most reasonable option we found when we were in Disney. So find those restaurants and utilize them. You'll save a lot of money. So one thing. Oh, tip number 6 is most people don't know that Disney will allow you up to a year in advance to buy your tickets, hotel room, and food packages, which are coming back into play here in January. So you can get the Disney dining package. Big hint on that one is don't overbuy. The two quick service meals and snacks are plenty for my family of 4 to eat on. It gives you 2 quick services a day, which breakfast and dinner typically, and then you end up buying snacks or whatever. But the snacks include like ice cream bars and things like that in the parks, or at your resort. They have quite a large selection of snacks. So it is actually a pretty good value, and it's a great way to pre-purchase a lot of your Disney adventures. So one thing, most people, you do 12 months in advance. It's 0 interest with 10% down. So I mean, you can book a $7,000 vacation for $700 down, make payments on it for 12 months interest free, saves you large amount of interest on your credit card. Plus, it does lock you into the rates of the tickets when you purchase them. If they have an increase or whatnot, Disney honors the price that you paid prior to the increase. So that is a really good value. Great way to save money. Utilize it. It is pretty awesome. So you can do this to your travel agent also. Just so you know, your travel agent can book it for you, do 10% down. You can make payments to your travel agent or direct to Disney. They don't care. They still get their spiff. So that is a great option. So this counts for Disney Cruise Line also. So utilize it. It's a good one. The only thing I will say is if you purchase your plane tickets through Disney, you do have to pay for them 100% up front. They cannot finance your tickets because they do not own the ticketing company, or the airline company. So they do have to purchase those, or they require you to purchase them. But everything else Disney related can be paid on for 12 months. That is a huge one for my family and I. We've done it multiple times. Tip number 7 is, unless you go to Disney a lot and you've been there a lot and there's specific things you want to do in every park, do not purchase the park hopper passes. It'll increase your ticket by about $60 or $70 per day, and that is per day. So just so you're aware, it's not a one-time fee. It's for every ticket that you have. So $109 plus $65 adds up pretty quick. So unless you've been there a lot, you're never going to get through one park in a day. If you do, you're going to be so tired, you're not going to feel like going anywhere else. So that is one thing I will say. Do not purchase the park hoppers. Take advantage of the early entry if you're staying in a Disney resort. Get there early, get in the parks, and enjoy your time. But you're not going to park hop. So unless you've been there a lot. We've been there a lot, so we do park hop a lot, but we did purchase season passes this year. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to be repurchasing them. So that is something to think about. Oh, so another great way to take advantage of your single park passes instead of buying park hopper passes is get a Genie Plus for the day. So it's like $21 a ticket, increase to your baseline ticket, but it allows you to get on a lot of rides with a little bit of wait time, so you can actually move through the park faster. The one thing I will recommend is do a little research, because it's kind of tricky. It has a lot of little nuances that you have to do to kind of watch what you're doing. The biggest one is you can't make a second reservation to get on a ride until you use the reservation that you currently have for a fast pass kind of thing. So learn it. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about it. There's a lot of stuff. My wife is just starting to learn how to really use it efficiently. I personally hate it, but it does get us through the park quite nice. The only thing is, when I'm on vacation, I like to really relax and not feel like I have a timeline. The virtual lines and the Genie Pluses, they kind of put you on a schedule, and you're really kind of linked to your phone, and you got to kind of watch everything all the time. So, like for me, I go through the park feeling like I have a doctor's appointment all the time because you're always jumping around from ride to ride. The other big hint on the Genie Pass is utilize it in the sections of parks that you're going to be in, because the parks are very large for those of you who have not been here. If you're in Toy Story Land, for instance, it is quite a long walk to get to like Star Wars or another area of the park. So you don't want to go from Toy Story Land to Star Wars, back to Toy Story Land, then over by the Indiana Jones ride, then back to Toy Story. It increases your walking time grammatically if you don't really watch the sections of the park you're in. So try to reserve rides in each section of the park that you're going to be in to go along with your timeline. That's one big thing on Genie Plus. So like I said, do a lot of research, read some articles about it. The articles are much better than the actual YouTube videos, honestly. So read up. It is awesome. So don't get park hopper passes. It'll save you a lot of money. So number 8 is going to be get gift cards. Pre-buy gift cards throughout the year. So if you're making payments on your Disney purchase that you did, your park tickets and resort, every week when you go to Sam's Club or you go to Costco or Walmart or whatever, they always have a kiosk with different gift cards. Pick up a $25 gift card. Do it every week. Religiously, it's $100 a month. I mean, you think about it, you're going to have $1,000 in spending money. So that is really a pretty good way to save money. I will tell you this much, though. If you use the gift cards to pay for anything like resort hotels or cruise lines or anything like that, if you have to cancel, they credit the gift card back. So if you use the gift card and you think, I'm done with it, you get rid of it, and you cancel your cruise, they credit all your money back to a card you don't have anymore. So that's kind of a bummer. They got to issue you a new card, takes longer. So if you're going to use gift cards, I would highly suggest hanging on to them until you go on your adventure, and then dispose of them once you know the money is spent. So the other thing we have done in the past, our kids are getting quite a bit older now, but we have purchased them gift cards for their items that they're going to buy, souvenirs and whatnot. So they would, know how much they would have to spend for the day. If they want to take 50, you're going to say you get $50 a day per child or whatever it happens to be, 25, 50. 25 is not going to get you much. They could spend that money all at once, or they can spend it individually. They can save it up and get one big souvenir. So that was a really kind of a savings for us, because we really kind of decided how much we were going to spend in souvenirs prior to going to the park, which really does make a big difference. So put a budget on yourself so you don't go in the park and spend, because there's gift shops everywhere. You could spend a ton of money. So that is pretty awesome. So use the gift cards, save them up. It teaches your kids some responsibility as far as spending money. So that's a good tip. So a lot of pre-buying there. So most of all, I do want to say, enjoy your time in Disney. So that's one thing that really helps me with the pre-buying, is I don't always feel like I'm reaching for my wallet, because I've already paid for a lot of my adventures. And if you buy the food package, you buy tickets, you pre-buy your plane tickets, you got gift cards, you really don't have a lot of out of expenses cost while you're at Disney. So it's kind of prepaid for. So, it's kind of funny. You don't spend less than you would normally, but in your head, you're thinking you're spending less because you've already paid for it. And when you're at Disney, you're not constantly reaching into your wallet and pulling out your credit card or your debit card and paying for things. So for me, it really lets me enjoy the time in the park. So just to kind of recap, number one thing is get a travel agent. They can help you save money. Number two is timing. Time of year is hugely important. Hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars savings sometimes. So watch that. Number three tip is food. Get groceries delivered. Find value places to eat, things like that. Buy the food package is a good one. Tip number three is water in the parks. Bring your own water. Utilize the free systems. It'll save you a ton of money, up to $25, $30 a day. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it really does add up. Number four is traveling light. Do some laundry. Laundry's not always the funnest thing, but it definitely will save you some money. Number five is find your less expensive places to eat and utilize them. So one thing I did forget to mention is in the food court, they always have whole pizzas for $21. That feeds all my family. We get one whole pizza, a couple little snacks, $21. Cheapest meal you're going to get in Disney, honestly. So utilize that, and that's only at the value resorts. You can get pizzas at the other resorts, but it's by the slice. So the three value resorts actually have the full pizzas, so that's a good one. Number six is pre-purchase. Utilize that 1 year no interest. That is awesome that Disney offers. Tip number seven is stay away from the park hopper passes unless you're a longtime Disney person. You're not going to utilize them like you think you're going to, so stay away from them. I would not even purchase them. Number eight is get gift cards. Pre-buy your souvenirs. Get your gift cards for the year. Save them up and utilize them for souvenirs. Awesome way to limit your spending. You know how much you're spending going in, so that's a big one. So most of all, I want to say enjoy your time. So Disney's an awesome experience, but do some research and enjoy your time. Learn how to use the different apps on your phone, the My Disney experience, things like that. It will make your trip a lot better. The last thing I do want to say is we got a lot more videos coming up here. So we actually, like I said, we have a trip to Disney that we are going to be posting up here for the Not So Scary Halloween. So I got 3 video segments that are going to get posted here at various amount of times over the next month. One is going to be the Disney All-Star Sports, which is our first time staying there. Pretty awesome resort. I do have another video on the All-Star Music. So we've stayed at all 3 of the All-Stars. All awesome. But they are basic, same layout. So if you go to one, they're pretty much the same. So like I said, watch for the upcoming videos on the All-Star Sports. Not So Scary Halloween, Mickey's Party, and then one just kind of on the parks, showing some of the different rides and some of the other things that we did on our stay. So if you like this video, hit like and subscribe. It does make a difference. It helps me move up in the standings. So will you help me grow my channel and come travel with us?